Did I stick to my October TBR? I don't know. Hey guys, welcome back and welcome in. So it is that time of the month again. It is time for our wrap up for October. Yes, it is November. It is actually November the 6th. So October is gone and it is time for us to talk about, or for me to show you the books that I read in October. Yes, y'all, the month is almost, the year is almost over. It is almost time for Thanksgiving. It is almost time for Christmas. Like 2024 has like really rolled us by. So I always make a TBR, of course, as you guys know. Do I always stick to my TBR? No, I do not always stick to my TBR because I am such a huge mood reader. So I read a lot of diverse books, which range from historical fiction, it ranges from contemporary romance, it ranges through thrillers. I have not really gotten into sci-fi yet. Or literary fiction, not that I know of, but like historical fiction, romance, second chance at love, pregnancy tropes, like all those types of things. Like I really do like those types of genres, and I can say like lately the really like ooey gooey YA sports romance and things of that genre, I have not really been into those types of genres lately. I don't know what the problem is, but I just have not really been gravitating toward those types of genres lately. Hopefully I can get back to those, but I just haven't been into those lately. But I have been into the romance, but just not the high school hockey, what is it, the campus romance type genres lately. I have read some fantasy books this time, and I really have been enjoying the diverse amount of books that I have been reading for the month of October and what I have actually started reading for the month of November. So guys, let's just jump straight into this video and let's talk about some of the books, or all of the books that I read for the month of October. So like I said, it is a diverse amount of books, and some of these books I will remember a ton of things about these books. Some of these books I will not remember not one thing about these books. So I probably will have to read the back of the book, and that is just the way it goes. Like I've never I have DNF'd the book, but I feel so bad about DNFing a book that I will actually put it back on my bookshelf and we will actually read that book again at some point in time. But I try to never DNF a book because I just like to read. And I like to be able to, if I'm telling you guys not to read that book, I like to be able to tell you guys why not to read that book versus, well, I only got to chapter 2, so I really can't tell you why I did not like that book, because I can't tell you. So I'm not a real big DNFer, but if a book is just not good to me, I will read it, but I will not enjoy it, and I will not remember a damn thing about it. And that's just Yolanda's Books world. So I know I am very long-winded at times because I just love to talk to you guys about books, but we're not gonna do that today. So let's just jump straight into this video. So I have been going to Goodwill to get a lot of my books lately because I have been trying to cut myself back on buying so many books, which I know that is not cutting myself back on buying so many books, but at least I'm not spending a whole bunch of money on books, because y'all, I have over now 700 and something books. I have like almost 800 and something books, and I just have to, oh God, I cannot put myself on a book buying ban. That's why I say I like try to go to Goodwill, get some books, and leave it at that, because that is my self-care time. That is my decompression time. And that is just what I like. That is why we are here now talking. So, it is an addiction, I know, but it is a very good addiction. So, I have been going to Goodwill. I have been getting some very good books at very good prices. And I have been loving it, guys. So, anyway, back to the regular scheduled program. So the first book that I want to talk about is called All the Light We Cannot See by Anthony Doerr. Of course, you guys know that this is also a Netflix movie, if I'm not mistaken. This is a fairly thick book. I did follow along with this book to a certain point, but I also listened mostly to this book on audio. And I really did enjoy this book, because even though I did not follow along in the book throughout the whole book, I listened to it on audio. I could still go through the book by listening to it on audio and like remember or visually in my head see what is actually going on in the book, because I actually remember the movie. And I can honestly say that I liked the movie better than I liked the audio, which I guess I'm saying I like the movie better than I like the book. This book is just pretty much about the war against, I think it was it the French? Germany. Yeah, Germany. German, and it says Hitler Youth. Yeah, Germany. Okay, so anyway, so pretty much it was about the German war. And what I grasped from the actual audio, it was just, okay, so let me put it like this. The movie, if I'm understanding and remembering correctly, the movie, it was also about the blind girl whose father had, I don't want to say left, but her father was not there at a certain point. But before he was not there, he taught her how to survive as a blind person. And like he hid a diamond, or was it a diamond? Or anyway, he hid something somewhere in the place where she lived at that somebody else wanted. And there was like a full-blown war going on. And in the audio, like in this book, I don't remember hearing all of that. Only thing I remember hearing is like how she was trying to survive while he wasn't there. So I'm not sure if I will actually reread this book or not, and actually pay attention to reading the book along with listening to the audio. But I can honestly say that I really did love the movie, but by listening to the audio and trying to read the book, it just was not the same. So this might be a reread for me. I'm not sure. So I'm not sure if I rated it on Goodreads or not. But if I did, it was a very undecisive rating. But overall, like the movie, I loved the movie. Very educational. It was especially with her knowing how to read braille, like all the things of like a person with some type of disability. So the next book is The Dinner List by Rebecca Surley. This was a reread for me, guys, and the second time that I read it and also listened to it on audio, I understood the love story between Sabrina and Toby, and then I want to say it was something between Sabrina and her father. I did understand it better when I reread the book, but can I elaborate on how this book actually made me feel at the time that I read it? I cannot. Will I reread this book again? No, I will not. So this book just, even though I reread it, it just did not hit for me. But the love story that I did feel the second time around for Sabrina and Toby, it was like she really, like it was a really good true love story, but it just wasn't a love story that really stuck with me, that really basically that just really stuck with me. So we did reread The Dinner List by Rebecca Surley. This book right here was picked for me by one of my followers. Her name is Val. Finally got to it. It is by Gillian Flynn. It's called Sharp Objects. This right here is like a murder mystery type book. This author actually also wrote Gone Girl. This was the first time I ever read a book by this author. This book was actually pretty good for it to be my first book read by this author. It was suspenseful. It was interesting. It was actually a little bit of a page turner for me. It made me mad in certain ways, and it made me very interested in like what Camilla actually went through with her mom. Like, what did her mom actually do? So it's just pretty much, it was about Camilla. She experienced some things with her mom when she was a young girl. She actually got put into a psychological hospital. When she actually became an adult, she became a reporter, and she was assigned to go back to her hometown and cover a murder of preteens in that hometown. So it was pretty interesting. It was it was pretty interesting. So I really did enjoy that book. So I listened to A Wrinkle in Time on audio. I did not actually read the book along with listening to the audio because I saw the movie 1,000 times. And that should let you know how I feel about the book. It is a very cutesy little YA book and movie. If you don't want to be in a reading slump, I feel like this will be a very cute book to read. And of course, you guys know it is just pretty much about two kids and the mom who lost their, not per se lost their father, but their father went missing because of the type of work that he did. And I can say this is a fantasy because of what actually went on in the book. And then once the kids, they actually got help from some of the fantasy people to find their father. So very cutesy book. I really enjoyed that movie. I just think it's such a cute little movie, and I've looked at it 1,000 times, and I will look at it 1,000 times again. The next book that we read was Alice Oseman, Heartstopper Volume 5. 5-star read for me. I truly enjoyed this series. Of course, you guys know this is about Nick and Charlie's love story. This is a queer book. I did not want this series to end. This series will always stay on my shelf. I'm hoping that Alice Oseman will come out with a volume 6. This one right here is just pretty much toward the end of, well, not toward the end of their relationship. It's just that their relationship really got how would I say it, really got serious, because Nick and Charlie, it was time for them to go off to college. And then, is it Charlie? No, yeah, it's Charlie with his little ordeal. Nick was trying his best to help him through his little ordeal, and I think that also stemmed from Heartstopper Volume 4. But then it was time for Nick to go off to college, and y'all, it was just the way that they felt about each other when they were away from each other for even one day was just like the perfect love between two people. Even though it was two guys, the love that they had for each other, the way they felt about each other, the way they treated each other, the things that they said to each other, the way they acted toward each other, the things that they did for each other, you know, this right here is just a perfect love toward teens. And I just thought it was so cute. And of course, you guys know it is a graphic novel. Again, I hope she comes out with a volume 6, because I don't want that series to end. And I finally started reading 50 Shades of Grey series. I read 50 Shades Darker by E.L. James. Oh Lord. And I also read 50 Shades of Grey by E.L. James. Of course, you know this was the first one that I read. And these books are hella spicy. So I'm gonna just say this. I have seen the movie. This is my first time reading the books. And the books, of course, have more in it than the movie does. But some of the things that Christian does to, what is her name? Anna, is like it's a sex game or something, like, for him. Like, she was like a sex slave for him or something like that. Like, he was just like obsessed with like a lot of things sexual. He was a rich guy, which I guess made him feel like he could do whatever he wanted to do. But then in the same token, like, I feel like he really did care about Anna. And he showed her a good time in a lot of ways. And y'all, Christian, I feel like he just went through something, and he actually found somebody that he actually really did like, and actually probably really is falling in love with. But because of like what he has been through or went through or whatever, he's very skeptic, you know, to like let go. Because it was one part or a number of parts, and I want to say it's 50 Shades of Grey. I don't know if it actually trickled over to 50 Shades Darker, but it was like, you know, Christian don't want to be touched. And I thought that was just so weird. But then, like I said, it probably trickles down to like, you know, maybe he went through something that really hurt him, and he's just trying to get over it. And during the time that he's trying to get over it, like, he actually like really is falling for Anna. But very, very spicy, y'all. Very, very spicy. I had to actually take some time in between reading 50 Shades of Grey and 50 Shades Darker. I actually have 50 Shades freed on my Libby, but I'm not touching it because I actually had to actually renew it, because I have to take a break between them because they are just that spicy. I love spicy books. I don't mind spicy books, but that series is hella spicy. Like, I don't like that much spice, but I will read those. I will finish the series. The next set of books that we read was We Were Liars and Family of Liars by E. Lockhart. I read this one on a vlog that you guys have already seen. It was called Reading 200 Pages a Day. It was like the first vlog that I have ever did of that kind. And this book was really, really good. This book was pretty much about it, pretty much surrounded around a Sinclair teenager, and something happened with her while she was a teenager, and that thing that happened with her while she was a teenager pretty much flow over into Family of Liars, and then some more things happened in this book, Family of Liars, that really brought together what happened in this book with that Sinclair teen, and then like all the other four friends and the family of the Sinclairs. But I can say these two books were page turners. They kept my interest. I wanted to know why they did what they did. I wanted to know, especially like when I started reading the first couple of chapters in each book, I wanted to know, why is the book titled We Were Liars? But once I actually got deep down into the book, I kind of understood what the book meant, like what the titles meant. But I can say, like, y'all, these books are actually really good. Now that I am actually really thinking about like the storyline, the dialogue in the book, the things that were being covered, like all the things, y'all, like these two books are actually really, really good. So I really would suggest you guys read those two books. The next one is The Personal Librarian by Maria Benedict and Victoria Christopher Murphy. I think this was the second historical fiction book that I read. The first one I want to say was The Women by Kristen Hanna. This one was actually pretty good. Did I listen to this one on audio? I think I did. I listened to this one on audio as well, along with reading along with the book, and I really did enjoy this book. Bella, she was, I want to say I actually talked about this book already on one of my vlogs. But anyway, I really did enjoy this book. Bella was the ball of the show. She had to endure a lot of things as a black woman. This book just really made me feel happy to be a black person. It made me feel grateful for the things that my historical black people went through, had to go through, endured, all the things. I just feel really grateful for my ancestors, just all the things. So The Personal Librarian, I really did enjoy this book, and we read this book also in that reading vlog that I was talking about, reading 200 pages a day, and it is called The New Couple in 5B by Lisa Unger. This was the first time I ever read a book by Lisa Unger. I have another book on my Kindle by this author called The Dollhouse. I actually did read that book. Also, I will try to pop a picture up of that book. This one was great. I actually gave this book a 5-star. This is a thriller. This book was just pretty much about a married couple who inherited or was given a an apartment building, and they just did not know what they got themselves into. It was like each person did not know what the other person or who the other person was. Like, y'all, this book was suspenseful. This book was thrilling. This book was a page turner. This book was a book that I did not want to put down. Like, I annotated like all through this book, y'all. I love this book. With it being the first book that I read by Lisa Unger, I was very, very impressed. When I read the first chapter, it made me want to jump to chapter 2. Chapter 2 made me want to jump to chapter 3. this was a fast-paced book. It was a thriller the way a thriller should be. And also, guys, I read The Dollhouse, and it was the exact same way. I read it on my Kindle along with listening to it on my Kindle, and that book was a page turner as well. It was thrilling. It was exciting. It had a lot of how can I say it? It had a lot of exciting, thrillish things that had a lot of ghost type things in it, and I think this book did too. Like, you will, they were just really good, guys. They were awesome thrillers. So I think I rated one of them 5 stars or both of them 5 stars. So another one we read was Crying in H Mark by Michelle Zigner. This right here is a memoir, and this one tore my heart apart. This one is just pretty much about a I want to say she was Korean or Asian, and she pretty much just endured grief of what her family went through. This book is a tearjerker, y'all. Like I said, I really love reading memoirs because it just lets us see how other people's lives have unraveled. And a lot of people, I feel like they fall into a depression state because they feel like their lives is the only ones that is actually going through heartache. But when you can read memoirs by other people who has been through something similar to yours or even worse than yours, then that just not brings joy to your heart, but it actually helps you to be able to cope with whatever you're going through better, or it gives you some type of encouragement. It gives you some type of way to better cope with whatever it is that you are going through, because it might be the exact same thing. So she actually overcame what she had to endure with the unexpectations, you know, of what happened with her mom. And after she had to endure that, she actually went on to pursue what she wanted out of life and actually was successful. So this was actually a depressing book, but also a rewarding book as well. And I just love when books end that way. We read Iron Flame by Rebecca Yarros. Y'all, the audio for this book was awesome. When I say the audio for this book was awesome, the audio for Fourth Wing was awesome as well, but I love the audio for this book. I believe I love the Iron Flame better than Fourth Wing. And the reason why I say that is because Fourth Wing was the start. It was the start of when Violet was being, like, I would just say, inducted into, like, passing the test and, you know, finding herself, you know, falling in love with Xander and, you know, just trying to find her place, trying to fit in, you know, trying to figure out what was going on. Okay, so Iron Flame, everything's in place. Everyone knows who Violet is, and Violet is actually being who Violet is supposed to be. Violet is she's just being Violet. Like, she's conquering, she's you know, she's being demanding, she's using her magic, she's standing up for herself, she's being in love, she's not taking no for an answer. Like, this book is such a great fantasy book, and I'm not a really big fantasy person, but this right here is like a 4.5 or a 4-star read for me. I enjoyed this stinking book. This is a book that I will reread again, but fantasy books are so long, so it is to the point of that if I do reread it, I will have to listen to it on audio again. But I loved Iron Flame. I will definitely reread that book again. I felt excited when I read that book. I felt like I was actually in the fantasy world. I felt like I seen the dragons. I was riding the dragons. I felt like I seen the fire come across my face. I felt like I seen all the punches, like all the fighting. Like I felt like I was like right there. So I love that book, guys. So I actually started the Shatter Me series. Remember, guys, it was on one of my past vlogs. I actually tried to start this series and it just was not for me. But I started again and I read the first book, which is Shatter Me by this author here. And I enjoyed this book. The next one that I am going to read, I think is the second book in this series, is Unravel Me. But I really did enjoy this book. It's just pretty much about, what is her name? Is it Juliet? She was actually captive in a place. She was made to think that she was dangerous to people, like they can't touch her because she will actually kill them. Yeah, hold on, let me make sure. Okay, yeah, because no one knows why Juliet's touch is fatal. Okay, I did not want to spoil anything in this book. So but she actually, hold on, guys. Okay, so yeah, so basically she was fooled, like, of thinking that she was fatal, and she actually found or was put together with a guy that she thought she had lost. So yeah, but this book right here, I was glad that I gave it a second chance, because the action in this book, the characters in this book, they were great. Like, this book was exciting. This book was a page turner. It had a lot of dialogue in it, and the storyline was very easy to follow. And it was just a great book. Like, it was a really, really, really great book. I really did enjoy it. So we read these two books. It Happened One Summer by Tessa Bailey and Hook, Line, and Sinker by Tessa Bailey. Y'all, if y'all have not read these two books, I don't understand what you guys are waiting on, because these books are awesome. These books are hella spicy, but they are awesome. It Happened One Summer was pretty much about Pip and Brandon. Pip was a very spoiled brat, and she did something and she was actually being punished, and she had to go to the town that her father was actually had actually lived in. And when she went there, she met Brandon, and then it just sprouts from there. So it is a very cutesy, spicy love story. And then Hook, Line, and Sinker is pretty much about her sister Hannah and Fox. Hannah is Pip's sister, and Fox was Brandon's friend. And this one right here was even more spicier than It Happened One Summer. This one, Hannah, she had to move back to the city. She was like in love with a director that she was working for. She seen an opportunity to impress him. She ended up suggesting to do a film back in the town that Pip was in, and so that involved that she would have to stay with Fox, and then it just goes from there, y'all. It goes from there. Like, this book is spicy. It is great. I did really enjoy that book. So the next book that we read was another graphic novel. It's called Pumpkinheads by Faith Erin Hicks. I really did enjoy this book. Very fast-paced book. It is like a true love, second chance at romance graphic novel to me. It is just about two seniors who, which basically is like their last season at the pumpkin patch, and they just go through like a few things while they are at the pumpkin patch, and the ending is very, very cutesy. So I really did enjoy that, and I loved the graphics in that book. The next one, which is the last book that we read in October, I think, is Educated by Tara Westover. It is also a memoir. This book right here was very, I don't want to say hard for me to read, but it was kind of hard for me to read. And the reason why I say that is because, and I don't know why I want to say I actually talked about this book as well.
Alright guys, just a quick voiceover. This book had a lot of depth to it. It had a lot to do with bipolarism, mental illness that has not been diagnosed, and just things of that nature. And the person, Tara, she really did a great job with being in that situation as a kid and like handling the situation with her family. And I just really loved the way she overcome all of that, and she actually still became successful as a person. I love memoirs because they really do put you in a state of mind that you just have to be in sometime to make it throughout this world. But guys, this is the end of this vlog. If you enjoyed this vlog, please subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.